ಚಾರಣೆ ಬೋಧನೆಯನ್ನು ಹಗಲು ಇರುಳು ಶ್ರಮಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಹೊತ್ತು ವಿಜಯ ಕಂಕಣ ದೇಶ ಕಟ್ಟು ಗುರಿಯನಿಟ್ಟು ಸಾಗಿದೆ ಪಯಣ
ಭಾಷೆ ದೇಶ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗಳ ವೀರ ಕೀರ್ತಿ ಪಸರಿಸಿ
ಅನ್ನವಿದ್ದ ತಾಯಿ ಇಂದು ಅಮೃತೋತ್ಸವ CSIR ನವೀನ ಚಿಂತನೆಯ ತಾಯಿ CFTRI ಹಸಿವ ನೀಗಿಸುವ ಕೈ ನವೀನ ಚಿಂತನೆಯ ತಾಯಿ CFTRI ಹಸಿವ ನೀಗಿಸುವ ಕೈ CSIR ನವೀನ ಚಿಂತನೆಯ
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಸರ್ವರಿಗೂ ಬೆಳಗಿನ ನಮನಗಳು. CSIR ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಯ ಆಹಾರ ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾಲಯದ ಅಮೃತ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಸರಣಿ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ದಿನ 2025 ಸಂಭ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಂಡಿರುವ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. A warm good morning to everyone gathered here for the inauguration of CSIR-CFTRI Platinum Jubilee Lecture Series and celebration of National Science Day 2025. Honorable Chief Guest, Professor T. Ramaswamy, Distinguished Professor of Eminence, former Secretary, DST, former Director, CSIR-CFTRI, awardee of Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan, respected Director, Sridevi Annapurna Singh, distinguished invitees of CSIR Sister Labs, former and present scientists, staff of CFTRI, media personnel, and dear students. On behalf of the Institute, once again I extend a warm welcome to all of you present here. May I now invite our Director to graciously escort the esteemed chief guests to the dais and invite them to take the seats, please. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. The year 2024-25 is a defining milestone in the remarkable journey of our institute, CSIR-CFTRI, commemorating 75 years of excellence in innovative advancements in the field of food science and technology. More than just a celebration of time, it is a tribute to the institute's resilience, unwavering commitment, and enduring vision in shaping the future of food research and ensuring the healthier tomorrow of generations to come. To add to this grand celebration, the Institute has initiated the Platinum Jubilee Lecture Series featuring eminent speakers from across the nation who have made remarkable contribution to the science and innovation. Today, this momentous occasion beautifully coincides with the National Science Day, a day that is dedicated honoring the invaluable contributions of scientific fraternity of the nation, making this celebration even more a special one and the meaningful one. May I now, to begin the event, I would like to invite Ms. Surabhi, Ms. Netra, and Ms. Bhagyalakshmi for the melodious invocation.
मुदाकरातमोदकं सदा विमुक्तिसाधकं कलाधरावतंसकं विलासिलोकरक्षकं मुदाकरातमोदकं सदा विमुक्तिसाधकं कलाधरावतंसकं विलासिलोकरक्षकम् अनायकैकनायकं विनाशिते भदैत्यकं नताशुभाशुनाशकं नमामि तं विनायकम् अनायकैकनायकं विनाशिते भदैत्यकं नताशुभाशुनाशकं नमामि तं विनायकम् नमामि तं विनायकम् न ते तरातिभीकरं नवोदितार्कभास्वरं न मत्सुरारिनिर्जरं न तादिकापदुद्धरं न ते तरातिभीकरं नवोदितार्कभास्वरं न मत्सुरारिनिर्जरं न तादिकापदुद्धरं सुरेश्वरं निधीश्वरं गजेश्वरं गणेश्वरं महेश्वरं समाश्रये परात्परं निरन्तरम् परात्परं निरन्तरम् समस्तलोकशङ्करं निरस्तदैत्यकुञ्जरं धरेधरोधरं वरं वरे भवक्रमक्षरं समस्तलोकशङ्करं निरस्तदैत्यकुञ्जरं धरेधरोधरं वरं वरे भवक्रमक्षरं कृपाकरं क्षमाकरं मुदाकरं यशस्करं मनस्करं नमस्कृतं नमस्करोमि भास्वरम् नमस्करोमि भास्वरम् अकिञ्चनार्तिमार्जनं चिरन्तनोक्तिभाजनं पुरारिपूर्वनन्दनं सुरारिगर्वचर्वनम् अकिञ्चनार्तिमार्जनं चिरन्तनोक्तिभाजनं पुरारिपूर्वनन्दनं सुरारिगर्वचर्वनं प्रपञ्चनाशभीषणं धनञ्जयादिभूषणं कपोलदानवारणं भजे पुराणवारणम् भजे पुराणवारणम् नितान्तकान्तदन्तकान्तिमन्तकान्तकात्मजम् अचिन्त्यरूपमन्तहीनमन्तराय कृन्तनं नितान्तकान्तदन्तकान्तिमन्तकान्तकात्मजम् अचिन्त्यरूपमन्तहीनमन्तराय कृन्तनं हृदन्तरे निरन्तरं वसन्तमेव योगिनं तमेकदं तमेव तं विचिन्तयामि सन्ततम्
Thank you, students, for the soulful rendition. Just as light dispels darkness, knowledge eradicates ignorance, science fuels the pursuit of truth and progress. May I now invite our esteemed dignitaries on the dais to step forward and begin this auspicious occasion by lighting of the lamp.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय
Moving on, may I now invite Dr. Giridhar Parvatam, Chief Scientist and Chairman, Organizing Committee, CSIR-CFTRI Platinum Jubilee Lecture Series, to formally welcome the gathering.
Good morning to all of you. It's my absolute honor to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each one of you as we gather to celebrate two momentous occasions, the commencement of the Platinum Jubilee Lecture Series of CSIR-CFTRI and the National Science Day celebrations of this year. On February 28, 1928, Sir C.V. Raman along with Sri K.S. Krishnan discovered the Raman effect, that is the inelastic scattering of light by matter leading to an exchange of energy and a change in the light's direction. The groundbreaking discovery earned him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1930. To honor these contributions and promote scientific awareness, the Government of India declared February 28th as the National Science Day in 1986. Since then, this day served as a platform to highlight the role of science in daily life that showcases the scientific achievements, discuss the advancements, and inspire future innovations. Tattvanveshanam Vijnanasya Moolam. The meaning is the exploration of the fundamental principles is the root cause of science. Without the root cause analysis of this science, you cannot accomplish. Navinam Chintanam Pragate Margaha. The innovative thinking is the path to the progress. That means the encouraging the new ideas and creative approaches in scientific development is what required. Based on these two, the theme of the National Science Day 2025 is empowering the Indian youth for global leadership in science and innovation for Viksit Bharat. This underscores the vital role of young minds in driving India's scientific and technological progress on the global stage. Established in October 21st, 1950, the Central Food Technological Research Institute has been a pioneering in food science and technology, significantly contributing to India's food and nutritional security for over 7 decades. As the institute embarks on its Platinum Jubilee year, that is the ongoing year, the 2024-25, a series of programs and events have been launched to celebrate its legacy of innovation, research, and societal impact. Today, we mark at another significant milestone with the launch of the Platinum Jubilee Lecture Series, a platform that embodies CSIR-CFTRI's unwavering commitment to scientific excellence and its vision for a healthier, more sustainable future. We are deeply honored to have among our distinguished chief guest, Professor T. Ramasamy, Distinguished Professor of Eminence, former Secretary, Department of Science and Technology during the period of 2006 to 14, former Director CSIR-CLRI Chennai during 1996-2006, and recipient of Santharup Bhatnagar Award in 1993 and Padma Shri in 2001 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. A hearty welcome to you, sir. On behalf of the Institute, I request our Director, Madam, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh, to extend a green welcome with a potted. Now may I request Sri R.S. Macha, Chief Scientist, Food Packing and Technology Department, to come on dais and welcome our Director, Madam, with a pot, green pot. Thank you. I also take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to all our distinguished invitees joining both online and offline, our former scientists and staff present here, our present faculty, researchers and students, as well as the media personnel who have joined us today. Your presence adds immense value to this historic celebration, and we are truly grateful to you to have with us. Friends, science is not just for scientists. Explore, experiment, discover. That is the science way. Jai Vignan, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for welcoming the gathering. May I now request our respected Director, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh, to set the tone for the significant event with her insightful opening remarks. Please, ma'am.
Ellarigu namaskara. A very good morning to all present. Today's honored chief guest, Dr. Professor Ramsamy, all the science fraternity who have joined online as well as who are present here physically. National Science Day greetings to all of you. Today is indeed a festival. Why do I say that? Because we are celebrating not only the discovery of the Raman effect and the consequent Nobel Prize that followed to Professor C.V. Raman, but we are also in our Platinum Jubilee year of CFTRI. Today, and food we know has a lot of bearing with many of the Sustainable Development Goals, including health and nutrition. So economic growth, life underwater, and so on. And today happens to be the World Protein Day also. So all in all, we find relevance to everything. So it is very important that we should celebrate, especially celebrate science. And this is more so because anywhere in the world you do an experiment, if it is done by the right method in the right way, you will always get the same results. And that is what makes it all the more important and relevant. So not only we are celebrating the Raman effect, like I said, we are also having this historic milestone of our Platinum Jubilee, where we have entered in October with the entire CSIR leadership in our campus into the 75th year. And it was the 75th birthday of CFTRI. Just during tea time, our chief guest was telling me that it is very important that no institute should forget its legacy and its history. I cannot think of a more profound statement than that. If we have forgotten our legacy, our history, then we cease to remain. And it is important that today we have to reflect as to what it is that CFTRI has achieved and where it is today, and then redefine ourselves to see how we remain relevant and we contribute the way we did all these decades. We all know, and several people on this podium have also mentioned the relevance of CFTRI earlier, why it was started, under what circumstances it was started. There was the background of the Bengal famine and World War II, and India was deficient in grains, and all of this contributed to the dream of this institute being set up. And it happened to be in Mysore thanks to the generosity of the royal family of the erstwhile kingdom of Mysore. But after that came the delivery of technologies. It was important to have a substitute for infant milk powder. And the institute rose to the occasion brilliantly because there was no technology using buffalo milk. And this one example, how it was done, whether it was bringing the milk, ensuring it was safe at the time of arrival, skimming the milk to reduce the fat content, buffering it so that the protein content was decreased, fortifying it so that there were essential amino acids and vitamins that were added on to the product, and finally dried. It gave birth to the dairy industry. On the one hand, you had butter. On the other hand, you had full cream. And then you had the milk powder. And that set the tone for the birth of the NDDB and the dairy industry. Today, just under one state, there are more than 10 lakh farmers probably who are depending on their livelihood on the dairy industry. Not only that, India became the global leader of milk production, cow milk production. At one time, we were deficient in cow's milk, which is why this technology had to be developed. And many products have come. Today, every party I go to, any part of the country, you will have a dish with paneer in it, which is a milk product, and it is an indigenous Indian product also, the cottage cheese. So that is the power of just one innovation in science. So like that, if we look at CFTRI, every decade probably, whether it was after that came the parboiling of rice, which even today is practiced by most of Asia's industry, the rice industry, the spice oils and oleoresins. 60% of India's exports are based from 4 industries in Kerala, all of which originated, the technologies originated from this institute. The leaf cup technology, even the golden jubilee of CSIR was commemorated with a stamp released by the postal department to show not only rural empowerment but women empowerment as well as rural technologies. All of that today we know the impact, the instant mixes that came into the market. At one time it was thought, and it is a story that the research council said that nobody is going to buy this, so don't work on it. And the scientist was so adamant that the then director decided to give an MLP project and support that. But today, none of us even know how to make gulab jamun from scratch. So I can talk of one innovation every decade, and all of us know this. But probably then the institute also tried to recognize that training was required. It recognized that traditional foods needed specific machines which were not there for automation. It was safety became a very important issue, and testing became extremely important. So all of this was integrated into the institute's vision and mission. And today we do talk of the 5 verticals of basic research in food science and technology, technology development, safety through testing, then training, as well as machine prototype building. Also, we have incubation center. Today, many of the startups in the food business do come to us, and we have been mentoring them. We have been trying to help them to set up the industry. It is very, very difficult to actually assess the impact. I'm sure there are ways and means, but today we need to really look at that as to what is that impact this institute has done, and to quantitate it in terms that are relatable in today's world and in today's language, so that the institute itself continues to show the way it has been doing all along. So today being the National Science Day, it serves as a powerful reminder that curiosity, perseverance, and scientific temper are the true driving forces behind progress. And we hope and wish that this will also set the tone for more innovation in our specific field of food science and technology. And it will continue to be an inspiration for the future, not only for the country, but for the world in the area of food science and technology. To commemorate this extraordinary journey, indeed, it is our honor that we are able to launch the Platinum Jubilee Lecture Series. And as was told by Dr. Purnima, we hope to have eminent scientists, academicians, industrialists, key stakeholders, including policymakers to share their insights, experiences, and vision for the future. We hope that it will be a tribute to the spirit of collaboration and innovation that will foster meaningful discussions that will shape the path ahead for research and development. With both these prestigious events happening today, we stand at the crossroads of heritage and progress, where we honor our rich scientific legacy while stepping boldly into the future. We hope and celebrate the wonders of science and legacy of CFTRI but we also reaffirm our commitment to discovery, innovation, as well as societal impact. Indeed, this is a dual celebration, and today we thought is the right moment where we will also recognize our colleagues who have contributed just that extra mile to the progress of the institute. It is true that it is not any one individual who is responsible for the growth or who is the visible face of the institute who is the main contributor. If each one of us are doing our jobs well, automatically the institute looks good and is highly visible. I pay my tribute to all the people who have worked from employee number 1. In the initial years, we were not giving employee numbers, but as per our count, there was approximately 2,500 people who were permanent employees and a large number of contractual employees who have done their bit, whether it was keeping our space clean, whether it was coming on time to see that the rooms were opened and they were cleaned up. Doesn't matter. The technicians, the technical officers, the scientists, the administrators, finance, stores and purchase, the electrical department, I mean all our support departments, our civil department, our people at the canteen who fed us so that we could give our best. Everybody did their little bit. And while today we acknowledge everybody, there were a few who have walked just a little more than what was expected of them. And while we honor everybody, we would like to recognize a few of them through a certificate of appreciation today. And we hope that they will serve as an inspiration for us to just do that little bit more, which will make our institute all the more a heaven that we most of us acknowledge it is a place to be. It is also my pleasure to today introduce our speaker. Of course, he needs no introduction. He is well known to us. He has been a well-wisher of CSIR-CFTRI. I personally have learnt a lot from just listening to him, and I always wonder how a person can think so differently. Excuse me. Professor T. Ramasamy was born on 15th of April, is a technologist turned scientist and a scientist turned civil servant. He holds his bachelor and master's degree in technology from the University of Madras and PhD from University of Leeds, UK. He worked on research areas relating in inorganic chemistry in Ames Lab, Iowa, and Wayne State University, Detroit. He was a visiting scientist in University of Newcastle upon Tyne in the United Kingdom. He joined the Central Leather Research Institute, Chennai, in 1984 as a senior scientist and served as the director during 1996 to 2006. His leadership at CLRI established its global leadership in leather research, and his contributions to strengthening academy research industry partnerships in the leather sector are widely recognized. During a critical period at CLRI, his leadership saved 250,000 jobs and 6,000 crore rupees annual turnover and 3,500 crore rupees in annual exports. He deserves a huge applause for this. He is also credited with leading the mass effort that enabled over 900 tanneries in Tamil Nadu to adopt green practices within just 18 months. He has been included in 2009 amongst the 10 most important people who made worldwide impacts in global leather industry in 100 years. Professor Ramasamy stands as one of the longest serving secretaries in the Government of India, leaving an indelible mark on the nation's scientific landscape. During his tenure at the Department of Science and Technology, he pioneered numerous innovative R&D funding programs and mechanisms. Initiatives such as Inspire, PERS, and Curie have proven transformative, reshaping the Indian science ecosystem. His leadership extended beyond national borders, serving as chairman of the Oversight Committee of the Science Engineering Research Board, SERB as we know, from 2014 to 16, and as a member of ABEO for the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons in The Hague from 2016 to 18. Professor Ramasamy played a pivotal role in shaping India's scientific trajectory through his instrumental formulation of the Science, Technology and Innovation Policy in 2013. As Member Secretary of the Science Advisory Council to the Prime Minister, he exerted significant influence, chairing over 85 national committees and delivering more than 25 reports for national action. Notably, he chaired the 2017 peer review of the Indian Council of Agricultural Research and served as the Indian co-chair for numerous international S&T collaborations. A key policy professional in India, he uniquely bridges the realms of science and civil service, continuing to contribute significantly to national and international governance processes. Professor Ramasamy has contributed significantly to diverse scientific areas, publishing 250 plus papers, securing 50 plus patents, and developing 12 commercial processes. His group's widely adopted technologies, including the pioneering allutan and alcrotan, established India's indigenous leather auxiliary industry. Professor Ramasamy has been recognized with over 65 awards, including the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize and the civilian honors of Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan, reflecting his significant contributions. A fellow of multiple national and international academies, he also received the 2021 IUCLTS Merit Award for his impact on leather science. Beyond his scientific achievements, he co-authored a monograph on Mridangam music with Dr. Umayappuram K. Shivaraman. Incidentally, Professor Raman also worked on musical instruments, so it is very, very relevant today to acknowledge this contribution also. Indeed, sir, we are honored to have you here with us. And he is going to be talking on a well-wisher peep into the centenary of CSIR-CFTRI. So I cannot think of a better topic that we have our heritage and legacy. We have to now take a hard look into our future to understand which directions we need to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Ramasamy.
Very, very good morning. Brothers, sisters, daughters, sons, and grandchildren. Of course, the director, Dr. Sridevi, I used to always think that she was my sister and she would not put me into trouble. But by this introduction, she put me into serious trouble. And I didn't think that such an introduction will be a favor to anybody because your expectations go up. And like to request all of you to give some allowance. This is spoken out of affection, no truth in it. Don't worry about it. I am mightily pleased to be part of this celebratory moment of the CFTRI because there are two occasions merged into one. There's National Science Day and of course the Platinum Jubilee celebration event of the organization. And as someone who thought science is a way of life, I used to be highly critical of celebrating a particular day as Science Day. We call it Mother's Day. As a mother should be celebrated all the time. Why only one day? To me, Science Day celebration of a particular day, in my younger days, I used to be very critical. In my younger days, I was very cynical. As when you become a director, you become less cynical. When you become a secretary, you become completely observant. It turned out that when I became a secretary, I realized the value of a particular day being earmarked. Because it's a day on which you truly call the thoughts of the entire country and focus your attention on a particular theme. So it's not about celebrating a mother on that particular day, motherhood on a particular day. It's about celebration of the motherhood itself, calling the attention. So science in this country has got one day, 28th of February, and they have to give a cause. The Women's Day is celebrated because America decided to give voting rights to women after 100 years. Unfortunately, India gave voting right to people at birth. We didn't wait for 100 years. But Science Day, unfortunately, is one such day that the independent India still is waiting for a Nobel Prize in Science under the tricolor. Because Raman got it under Union Jack. Raman did not get it under Union Jack, 1930. Therefore, it is desire among the young people to do this. But fortunately, in the way we celebrate the Science Day, the Department of Science and Technology is supposed to select a theme. Because I was, let me say, co-conspirator of that idea when I was in Delhi. They have chosen this time a theme as empowering youth. And to do what? Global leadership in science and innovation. What purpose? Vikshit Bharat, developed India. So I am in no position to empower anybody, including myself. Therefore, I will not pretend to do this empowerment role. But as someone who is a well-wisher of the organization, I say I have a peep into the future. Therefore, I have deliberately gave the talk system as one of a well-wisher of the organization, transiting from your Platinum Jubilee, which is a past, but the journey towards the centenary. Good leaders learn from the past, connect the present, but focus on the future. Administrators focus the past, correct the past errors in the present, and concerned about the future. Managers correct the past, focus the present, and connect the future. I think this is we talk about global leadership as your Science Day theme. I think we have to focus on the future. So as we look at this Platinum Jubilee to Centenary of CFTRI, by coincidence or the history, the Platinum Jubilee to Centenary journey of the CFTRI is co-traveling with that of the country itself. Country's Platinum Jubilee happened a few years ago, and we are on the march to the centenary. So Vikshit Bharat is all about 2047, which is the 100th year celebration of the independence of India. So it turns out that many institutions in this country co-travel, because only after independence, so although CSIR was founded in 1942, along the grooves and the grammar of British Scientific Industrial Research, BSIR, but CSIR took its own route. Because the BSIR, original mother of this CSIR heritage body, is closed already. So we are at, the daughter is surviving, the mother is dead. Now, looking at this CSIR development, much of it happened after independence. And we had a prime minister like Pandit Nehru who had romance with this science. So I was told, Bhatnagar used to go to Pandit's place, and he said, "Naya lab chahiye." Then Pandit will ask, "Kitne crore? Kitne paisa? 5 crore? Le lo? 6 crore le lo? Acha lab banao." So like that only CFTRI came. CFTRI is one of those acha lab banao. So it came in 1950. In 1950, the nation had to adopt input-led growth path. So you make an input, you build an institution, and that institution will provide a growth, input-led path. So CFTRI was conceived in 1950 by putting money into food research, food technological research in this country. There will be development in India. That's input-led path. But that's how all CSIR labs came. For the fun of some of these younger people here, even Prakash and I were directors in CSIR labs. There are 40 labs. And Mr. Dr. Mashirkar used to be called Alibaba, all of us Charlie Chor. Fundamentally, the CSIR decided that Charlies is not a good terminology. They reduce a number so that Sridevi is not part of the Charlies anymore. Fundamentally, there were several laboratories were established in that period of time. But today, India is the surge of a different grammar. What was applicable in 1950, input-led growth, doesn't fit into today's needs. What is it that we require? He's looking at an outcome-driven development path. So you go back and ask this question, what's the theme for the Science Day of the 2025, Viksit Bharat, which is developed India as a goal. And for this, science and innovation as a fuel. So therefore, it is not the science growth is targeted as in 1950, by putting money into CFTRI, food technology will develop. No. We have to be in 2047, India should be a developed country with a certain economic band, and how does CFTRI and other institutions can contribute. That's a goal. Now, outcome-driven development path. To me, Viksit Bharat is not just a statement of any one person. It's a desire of the 1.45 billion people. Everybody wants to be a part of that chain. Now, we can ask the question, how should the journey of CFTRI align with that of the country? You don't have to plan a 75 to the 100 years of CFTRI as a standalone entity. If it is not, if the cost of the organization is not dissolved into the national cost, what is the value of that growth? The year 75 to 100, without being connected to the national path, is my opinion, cannot be standalone. It has to be aligned to the process. Now, I have decided to challenge you guys with a little bit more than what the government does on Science Day. They said, Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat developed India. You can have a developed India, but a very unhappy India. I have known there's more unhappiness among the rich than among the poor. The more poor people are happier than more they have rich people. So we just don't want to be a developed world with economic development, but we want to be happy country. Therefore, it's a Viksit Sukh Bharat, which is developed happy India. I'd like to share an anecdote with you. I happened to meet Mr. J.R.D. Tata in one of the guest houses in my younger days. I was in 30s at that time. Just two of us. And he differed with Pandit Nehru's concept of development, economic development. He said, what is important is happiness. We don't worry about just economic development because he was the rich man. He didn't have to have the, I told him also, you do not have to worry about where your next meal is going to come from. There are a lot of people for whom food is important. Therefore, happiness is an important issue. Question here is, can Food Technology Research Institute contribute to the happiness and wellness of this country, along with science and innovation? That's going to be the name of this talk today. So I will wish a peep into the CFTRI journey towards the centenary, and that's what I'm presenting. It is my personal peep. And we say, what is a peep? Peep, by definition, is a quick look through a narrow window, narrow opening. So 2047 is so far away. One good thing about this 2047, in my case, I won't be alive at that time. So whatever that I speak today, okay, will be registered in you, and I will not be accountable for what I said. Now, CFTRI 25 is a threshold of a journey different from the inputs-led growth path to a responsible development path. I use the word not development, but a responsible development path. Therefore, let me share a very quick look of what I see in front of you. So look at this year 2023. There's a reason in 2023 because that's the year on which most data are available in India today. 2024 still have to update. So 2023, our GDP size, which is formal economy, the parallel economy is not integrated, so don't worry about that. That has a different value. It's $3.95 trillion. And we are the 5th largest economy. Regardless of who is in power, regardless of how much confusion we can create ourselves to, by 2035, given in rating, we will be the 3rd largest economy. Because that's the size of the population, everything will go up. So don't worry about this size, number, 3rd, and all that business. But the per capita income of an Indian in 2023 is $2,845. Okay? And purchase power parity is valued at $11,000. These are data of the global numbers. When you say developed India, it is not technological development. Sometimes when developed people think, scientists think that technology is what is good development. Please, technology is not an issue in the development. It has to have the per capita GDP. Per capita GDP has to be finite number, only then it's developed. You can have fantastic space and shoot yourself and everything, but that's not called development. Development, India got a political freedom in 1947, but economic freedom has not reached 60% of the population even today. Therefore, there has to be an area of per capita income. Today, I would say in 2023, India ranked 129 in per capita GDP in a group of 192 nations, 96 nations. That's not a great record to rate your mother about. 129 out of 126 is nothing great achievement to rate your mother about. It can be 3rd largest, that doesn't mean anything. Therefore, then we have to go to understand the texture of the economic growth. And why the texture of the economic growth is relevant, I'll come back to you. So economy can be broken down into 3 verticals. Agriculture economy, manufacturing economy, and service economy. This is how the world is done. And the 3 verticals are represented. And today, the agriculture growth is 14%. The GDP size of $3.95 trillion, 14% comes from agriculture. About 27% to 28% comes from the manufacturing, and 58% comes from service economy. Now, in other words, given that number, 14% of 3.95, agriculture is a less dominant player in the overall economic process, and therefore per capita GDP of a farmer is far less than the per capita GDP of a service economist. And that's not great news. And if I were to want this Vikshit Bharat as a goal, and we need to ask, in the present day value, it has to be $12,000 per capita. That's what people normally prescribe. So then we can ask, from the 2,845, if I reach the $12,000 per capita income, at different growth percentages, when will we reach? So I have simulated a process where if you grow at 7%, it is 7%, 8, 9%, 10%. So 10% you grow, at $12,000, you will reach in 2041. And if you grow at 7%, you will reach to $12,000 in 2047, which is your independent India's centenary year. Okay? So what it means is, you need to grow at 7% per capita GDP between now and 2047 every year. That's what it amounts to. Now, sustaining a high growth rate for a long periods of time is a formidable task, I can assure you. Okay? You can guide a high growth rate for short periods of time. For between now and 2047, you have to maintain 7% growth is a high formidable task. Now we go back and address these 3 verticals. Agriculture sector shares about 14% of the national economy in terms of GDP. India, agriculture is still a culture-driven activity, not technology-driven activity. Many cultural practices. And politically sensitive group dynamics. When farmers go on strike, you know what happens to the government. And contributes to but it supports 48% of the population. At the time of independence, agriculture supported 90% of the population. Of 33 crores, 30 crore people depended on agriculture. Today we are at 48%. Manufacturing is about 28%, and the complex grid of small, medium enterprises with the corporate systems. And the MSME sector, the MSME sector is a great employment generator. 40% of jobs are with the MSME. 15% of economy with the MSME, but 40% jobs are with the MSME. So when the demonetization discussion happened in the previous government, I said, don't do this. If we did that, you lose 5 crore jobs, because the MSME sector will become non-competitive. Therefore, there's a question of the role of MSME. Capital-intensive industrial sector in this country is a low-value segment. Not many corporate sectors today are in high technology trade. They are in pharmaceutical and chemical are exceptions. But all other armaments, aerospace, everything is a low-value segment. IT is a very low-value segment. So balance of trade in 7 high technology trade are negative in 2023. So service shares about 48% of the national economy, strong presence in high volume, low value global segment, serves about 20% of the national population. So the ratio of GDP between agriculture and service is 1 to 9. Agriculture gets 1/9 of what the service economy does in terms of GDP. So this is a map. I've gone back to 1950 when CFTRI was founded. 1950, you can see GDP contribution of agriculture was 53%. 53% of the national economy was in the hands of agriculture sector 1950 when CFTRI was formed, hoping that agricultural products will be converted into food and food technology systems will add value and value chain will happen. That's how 1950 this happened. But in 2010, this had dropped to 14%. It is moving towards 10% in the process. Now, service moved up, industry moved up. Service moved up faster, industry moved up slower. So we got a GDP growth all right, but the GDP growth has a differentiated growth, differentiated segments in the process. It turns out, at the time of independence, 30 crore people depended on agriculture, or 33 crores, and 30 crore people had certain arable land for agriculture. In 2025, we have 145 crores, and about 70 crore people depend on less amount of land than what they had before, although productivity, land productivity, everything moved up in the process. But the labor force is continue to decrease, and eventually it will settle around 20-25%. If it doesn't happen, then smaller money distributed over a larger population, so farmers will be distributing poverty. That's what will happen. Now this is a different countries. This is the non-farm sector's GDP, this is agriculture sector, and where we have India. So primarily, farmers' growth, farmers per capita today is, with respect to the national, is about 1/3. That's what it is today. Okay, I take this, share of the population and so on. So what's the per capita GDP and agriculture is about $850 million. Agriculture sector grows between 2.5 to 3% annually. It so happened, Secretary DST, the Secretary Agriculture at that time is the present Principal Prime Minister, Mr. P.K. Mishra, said, "Arey Baba, if we can raise this to 4%, GDP growth will grow to 10%, because agriculture is high volume." By coincidence, by fluke, the one particular year, we got 4% and GDP grew at 10%. And therefore, this ratio is 2 to 3%. If I take this 850 per capita and reach 3%, 4% annual growth, a farmer to reach $12,000 per capita, it takes 100 years. Not for 27 years, take 100 years. So large percent of the population will not be able to reach the Viksit Bharat benefits with this arrangement. So if we take the agriculture manufacturing sector, given the nature of this, they can reach this by 2047. The service sector can reach in 4 or 5 years. So there's a differentiated processes, and that is not good for delivering this Viksit Bharat goal. Viksit Bharat goal has to be more. So current models of GDP increase with the service sector driving fast could lead to what I call as social tensions, and so agriculture sector would suffer the most. These are numbers derived based on what we have. This is not guess, not astrology. These are based on numbers. So could we add service-led growth to agro and manufacturing system, redistribute the GDP benefits to the other segments as well, not only the process, and therefore change grammar and a vision-led planning is essential. So on a science day, when we talk about science and innovation, I think the role of science and policy is change the vision into a kind of and it involves social engineering. Now, in terms of the social engineering that is required, among the CSIR labs you have, CFTRI seems to be the most important one, because it is agriculture and you are converting into food. And you don't stop. It so happened, most wealthy countries suffer from obesity, child obesity, because they eat something without what they should not be eating. So they have got economic development all right, but unhealthy family. Therefore, it is not good to have more food. It is right to have the right food. That's a question. And the vision and mission of outcome-directed planning, and I think for Viksit, Sukh Bharat I'm going to talk about, but Viksit Bharat itself. You require strategies, accelerating the per capita GDP, and you need to have plans, you need to have actions. The service economy outperformed the agriculture sector, making farmers vulnerable. At the time of independence, the farmers' per capita income, whatever that was known, was higher than the average per capita. Today, state-wise, there are only 4 states where the known per capita income, the informal things we can't discuss in places, because that we can do in the tea room discussion. We have to discuss only formal known numbers. The known numbers, only 4 states, the farmers' per income is equal to the state average per capita income. Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, and Kerala. Kerala, because of the cash crops. Himachal Pradesh, because of horticulture and floriculture. And the only 2 states with the food crops system is Haryana and Punjab. Rest of the states all have low, and national income, the per capita income of farmer is 48% of the per capita income of the country. And that's not a great news. So agriculture, therefore, we need to ask very different kind of activity. We need to have innovations which add value to agricultural products, and we need to have innovations which provide products at affordable cost, because innovation for the sake of innovation doesn't help. Affordable innovation is more important than the innovation by itself. Most countries in this innovation thrust, we talk about, oh, America is spending so much money in research, India is not spending. We talk about not spending cannot become a burden. Not spending is a wise decision. Okay? If you take the total investment of the United States on R&D, and if you maintain that investment to meet the global population of 7.5 billion people, the total investment into R&D and purchase power parity needs to be $13.5 trillion, which is 3 times the per GDP of India today. That investment is insane, unsustainable. Okay? Therefore, India need not follow unsustainable models. We have to follow what is sustainable. And this, I remember making a presentation when I was Secretary DST, Chinese guy, a Japanese and myself were called by the Prime Minister of Finland. We will talk about innovation. Japan President, we are the best innovators. China said, we are the fastest. I presented India as number one in nothing. We will never be number one in anything. I said, even if we win a rat race, we are only a rat. And India is not a rat. We are not in the rat race. And I said, you guys are talking about process of innovation. We talk about the purpose of innovation. Purpose of innovation is to include people. Okay? Therefore, affordable costs, needing finance innovations, upskilling, modernization of facilities. These are the kinds that are required. Food delivery machinery attracts young people better than processing industrial. Today, most people, when they finish the school or college or whatever, they take one scooter or two-wheeler and squeaky, dookie, all this kind of, they're delivering food. So whether it's Food Technology Institute or develop technology or not, for delivering food, you don't require technology. That is not the way India should develop. We need to have a different model. So agriculture, food, nutrition sectors get outperformed by other growth sectors. That's a reality. Therefore, bring the benefits of Industrial Revolution 4.0 to the Indian agriculture by enrolling younger people into this. Today, the level to which a weather forecast can be given to a local person, price discovery mechanisms. Sometimes somebody grows potato, and the market where they grow, they cannot sell for 25 paisa. Some 50 kilometers away, they will require 10 rupees, 20 rupees. So real-time price discovery mechanisms are available today in terms of the facilities we have. We use all the Facebook, Headbook and all that for celebrating irrelevant news, but not relevant information. Right? How do we help a farmer to know the real price at that time to sell? These are price discovery mechanisms. And truly, the increase in the share of agroeconomy from current 14% and growth rate is important, and embrace the post-harvesting valorization of agro waste, and you really need to convert this food, agriculture, food, nutrition, health, wellness chain through the entire innovation chain. CFTRI cannot rest developing a small machine for making some millets and this and that. That's not enough. Agro-processing machinery is not enough. You have to take it all the way to the health and wellness issues and provide a holistic knowledge to people what food to eat. And that's an end-to-end process. So enrich the role of manufacturing sector into growing GDP, and primarily agriculture also has to pick up the traits of manufacturing industrial engineering. You cannot remain cultural practice all your life. You have to build this process, and therefore, how do we interconnect the agriculture sector to food processing, and food processing nutrition, and nutrition to health and happiness? So fundamentally, the technology, agriculture, food, nutrition, health, wellness chain, technology innovations for balancing per capita GDP differentials is most needed, because health, that's a huge differential in this process. If we grew at the pace at which we are growing now, with the same business as usual, the ratio of GDP in agriculture and the service sector will become 1 to 65. Today is 1 to 9, 9.2. If it is 1 to 65, there will be tremendous social tension. And India is a pluralistic country. It is not a homogeneous system. There will be tensions of all sorts. You call caste, you call it religion, you call it language, culture, whatever. Economic differentials will make a much bigger damage to the country than anybody else. See, India is a country. We accept. If electricity fails in our house, we'll be okay as long as the next neighbor also failed. We go and look at the other fellow also in electricity, we are peaceful. If that fellow had electricity and we don't have it, hell will let loose. And it is only electricity. You talk about the economy, the neighbor has a huge amount of wealth and the other person doesn't have it. Create tension. You have to accept that social behavior. So shift in mix of growth engines, shift from agro to manufacturing, service sector. Some of the population of people depending on agriculture have to move into manufacturing and service sector, and bring the manufacturing and service sector contribution to agro in value addition. And value-added services to both agro and manufacturing processes trigger the mindsets of changes in the community through active campaigns, and focus on high remunerative agriculture and fruit processing for wellness. I'm not talking health, I'm talking wellness. Wellness is more than health. So acceleration of per capita GDP growth to reach the visible Viksit Bharat goals. So calls for migration of significant size of population from agriculture into the other segments. We can't with what land the 30 crore people had, arable land in 1947. In 2047, you can't support 80 crore people. That will be the population of India in 2040 will be 160 crores, 162 crores. You can't support 80 crore with 30 crore land. You have to shift them into other sectors, and those are aspects are important. So that would require reskilling, program-centric processes, and you need to have design partnerships along the PPP model. Gone are the days when CSIR labs were trying to solve all the problems of India single-handedly. Understand, that single-handed doesn't work anymore. We have to work, national problems require national effort. And you have to open the processes, and we have to move in technology changing mindsets. See, most of us, I mean, later when I'm making government, don't think I'm taking a dig, I'm a CSR person. Most of us write a patent so that we can get a promotion in the job. Publication we do, citations we do, impact factor, because otherwise the committee members will ask, where is your paper? What's your impact factor? And that's what we'll ask. So most of the paper and publications and patents are related to promotion of the scientists, but not solving the problem of the country. We need to build from that system to problem-solving mode, even in higher education itself. So economy of scale and scope is not enough. Economy of purpose is important. So economy of purpose has been built into the technology education, and the way CFTRI develops technology build the economy of purpose into the process. Industrial R&D is becoming affordable innovations. We require PPP model. We can't, most scientists of CSIR labs have no exposure to industry. So they imagine a problem in the industry and solve. So most scientists of CSIR labs have a button called technology. They want the industries to stitch a shirt around a button. No company will stitch a shirt around a button. So you have a shirt without a button, put the button on it. Because your technology is there. Around the technology, you want them to put capital, then you put labor, market, and so on. That is like asking them to stitch a shirt around a button. Please understand the button shirt analogy I want CSIR labs to remember. The high technology trade, we require global partnerships, and innovation-led economy needs to operate. ICAR, there are three councils in our research, ICAR, ICMR, and CSIR. All the three councils, we set them out of the government so that they'll be less bureaucratic. But it turned out that the other three councils are more bureaucratic than the DSC itself. Okay? I'm using the word DSC because I still believe that I belong to DST. We were able to function certain things which CSR cannot do. So now the question, the focus of ICAR, validation, social engineering, and agro as a service. ICMR has to move wellness and nutrition and women health. And CSIR enhancing the role of manufacturing and gross value addition through innovations. Gross value addition is crucial. There's no point in having a product where the raw material price is 80% and the product cost. Where is the value addition through technology? Unless the selling price is 2.5 times the cost of the raw material, you're not adding value to raw material. And technology, post-harvesting valorization of agro waste, delivery of affordable health, and of course, increasing global share of high technology trade. CSIR cannot afford to talk about I developed 300 technologies, 400 users, and finally what happened to the trade? What's the market share? What's the market share of today? CFTRI in food processing sector. If food processing sector has X as a turnover, how will you relate that turnover to what you develop in this organization? Okay? And these are the questions that we need to ask. Truly, technology-led high, medium, and value employment, and through R&D-led changes, bring a GDP mix ratios of 3 engines. That's what the CSIRs goal needs to be. So the three councils of the government need to realign to the Viksit Bharat agenda through internal design goals and priorities, and have to come together, not as verticals. Look at this COVID time. Every science establishment was trying to compete with the other scientific establishment and impress the Prime Minister that we had done better than the other fellow. What's the point? What is the point? You are not working for pleasing the bosses. You are serving the people. The organizations did not come together. They had to come together. Something CSIR will come out, ICMR has to clear it, they will not give the clearance. That happened in COVID time. Therefore, please understand, science done in this country may be celebrated by the people of India, not the politicians of India. I think that's the goal. So food processing sector in India, current roles and value addition is around 1.8% of the GDP. You have to, by 2047, you should raise it to at least 7.2%, fourfold. That means you have to grow at 10.47% annual growth. Not 7% of the GDP, but your system to 10.4%. That's a number you need to have. So the sector needs cooperative endeavor of all the three councils, ICR, CSIR, and ICMR, for connecting agriculture and food to health and wellness of Indians. And we're looking at this in terms of projections. This is the 2023 value of the food processing Indian market. They claim this will go to 61.23 trillion. They are looking at the economic space, and I'm not happy with the 61. I want to be at least 150. And that's what you should forget. So looking at this CFTRI 1950 picture I found, there was some water body and all that. Today, Sridevi went and took me to a place where they resurrected a water body. And that water body today I don't see here. Now, this is the present CFTRI. So established in 50, 70 years, brought many, many achievements in a 25-year journey. And it turns out, what you have accomplished in 75 years, great. What you need to accomplish in the next 25 years is not 3 times, 10 times larger than what you have accomplished for this country. The next 25-year journey has to be much more vibrant and much more demanding. And I looked at the Indian processing sector, food processing sector. It's a very busy slide. I will not take too much time in this. I'm running out of time. It turns out the challenges faced by the sector. It turns out, see, at the time of Green Revolution, India had produced 39 million tons of food. We required 52. Indira Gandhi said, we'll make it self-sufficient, and Green Revolution happened. Today, we are producing 320 million tons with less amount of land. We are producing. And if you take any product, we are one of the top 5 in the world. Milk production, top 1. You will be in many of them in the top 5. So in terms of production, we have to get. And the economic cash generations and all the value additions are important. I won't go into the details of those. What are the challenges? Unorganized nature, and more than 40% of the sector is unorganized. I'm using politely unorganized. It's actually disorganized. And supply chain issues, low surplus. Most companies are running for the sake of running, but without making gauge profit. Therefore, low surplus, financial constraints, the huge innovation gap. In spite of all the hard work you guys are doing, as far as the enterprises are concerned, there's a demand-supply mismatch and branding deficit. So what's the way forward? Value addition, institutional reforms, innovation fund, and you have an act, Essential Commodities Act, and quality certified systems for food safety and health and wellness. So exploring future trends in food processing, we are at the threshold of a revolutionary change where integration and automation of AI-assisted tools for production, distribution, consumption, personalized nutrition, food safety, delivery, health outcomes, and wellness indicators. So I'm now talking about not food technology, but I'm going all the way through to wellness indicator. And technology is only a small lever, but the energy for the leverage needs to emanate from breakthrough innovations. Therefore, we are in a new transformation process at this time. So, CFTRI 2047 to be the leading contributor to the happiness quotient, not technology supply. Happiness quotient through food and nutrition for healthy India, our collective wish, that's our collective wish. So, CFTRI may need to charter a journey into 2025 that places the institute at the apex of technology. You can't go back and say there are so many other fellows who have come. Okay? There will always be other technology systems will come. And Himalayas cannot worry about small hills coming somewhere. Himalayas are Himalayas. Himalayas need not feel threatened even by Alps. Okay? But Himalayas are still growing. Let CFTRI be the Himalayas. So don't worry about the Alps. And for developed, happy India. So fair and more even GDP growth is essential. So Viksit Bharat should ideally be Viksit Sukh Bharat, not Viksit Bharat. Developed India, which has unhappy people, is not what we want. We don't want to have unhealthy and unhappy people in developed India. We want to have healthy people and happy people. And this needs a careful social engineering and democratization of innovation. That's the message I'm giving. Innovation needs to be democratized. Okay? And democratization of innovation is fundamental. And I leave this thought with you. It's a very pregnant word, democratization of innovation. And that's what I want the CFTRI to think about. What is that democratization? The peep I talked about is that peep is this democratization terminology. And technology innovations from CFTRI. So my arm of CSIR, which has the highest responsibility in Viksit Sukh Bharat, to me, in my view, CFTRI. And I assure you it's not CLRI, okay, because I had some role in CLRI. And if CLRI doesn't exist anymore, leather industry will still survive and do better. So connecting agriculture to food, nutrition, health, wellness, and happiness is truly a service in nation-building act. And democracy of innovation is a key CFTRI made to design itself that model. So in summary, an attempt was made to size up the needed transformation agriculture manufacturing processes, essentiality for agriculture, food, nutrition, health, wellness chain by interconnecting ICR, ICMR, and CSIR. And a peep has presented the role of CFTRI as a central pin in the journey of India to her own centenary and is a vision for the future. It turned out no lecture of mine will finish without Gandhi's quote. Because I will now, for younger people, I will share an anecdote with you. I came back with a PhD. My friend, my sister talked about a lot of biodata, very long biodata, which is something I didn't want to have. But I will tell you my anecdote. I came back from England at the age of 27 and with a PhD in Leeds. I landed at 6:45 in the morning in the airport. At 10:15, I was appointed as scientist B in CLI without an application. The DG CSIR at that time knew what this animal Ramasamy was. So Ramasamy was given a job. In 6 months, I resigned. Because that's my staying power. But anyway, 18 months, I left the country again. I went to the US. After 2 years, I came back again. For 9 months, I gave up. But this time, 18 became 9. I ran away, went back to the US. So between this period of 73 to 84, I was shuttling between the US and India corridor, visited many times, blaming this country of poor science system, feudalism. When you can't do anything, you blame your seniors. So I blamed them. Liberally, I blamed them. And in 84, 83, the DGCSR offered me a job in CLRI. I said I prefer to be a porter in Central Station in Madras rather than be a scientist in a CSIR lab. I said it, and I meant it. But 84, I came back. I went to England, came back in 84. not to do science, to change CLRI. The reason I did that was I am a great follower of Gandhi. I said, you want the change, he said, be the part of the change you wish to see. I'm wanting science in India to be changed by somebody else. And that's not going to happen on its own. So let me, a person, try to change it. In that, I forego my science. Let my not science flourish. I came back in '84 for changing not just CLRI, but the science system. Therefore, today I'm going to quote another Gandhi's quote. Economy that hurt the moral well-being of an individual or a nation is immoral and therefore sinful. If a GDP growth took place, leaving aside 40% of the population into the poverty statement, that economic growth is sinful. So if you have a Viksit Bharat where GDP, per capita GDP went to $12,000, okay, but 40% of the population did not get $12,000, get $2,000. That's immoral. Therefore, we need to keep this story in mind. So let me finish this parable. It turned out some bishop claimed to know some cathedral was being built in the neighboring town. So he went. So he asked the stone cutters. And he asked, what are you doing? One said, I'm making a living. Others said, I'm doing the best job in stone cutting in the entire world, entire country. The third person said, I'm building a cathedral. My friends, you are building a cathedral. You are building Viksit Sukh Bharat. You are not doing the best technology in the world. That's not enough. And please, I like to present to you, those of you scientists, you can make a living much better in this country today than being a scientist. Because otherwise, that's what the two-wheelers, they go and deliver Swiggy now. They make more money than some of you do. Therefore, making a living, science is not a thing. Therefore, you need to really look at building a cathedral, building this country. And that's what this whole Science Day theme is all about. Empowering India to be a global leader and towards, they call Viksit Bharat, I call Viksit Sukh Bharat. Developed happy India. So in Viksit Bharat to Viksit Sukh Bharat, let the hand of CFTRI be the strongest and the most impactful. Upanishad said, Pranamaya, Annamaya with one spelling. You see, when I come to Food Technology Institute, I spell even the Annam wrong. There will be two ends. There cannot be one end. So, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. But food, Vijnan, leading to bliss. Anandamaya is bliss. CFTR is connected in this with two, Annam and science. So, out of this Upanishad, you have the connection with two of them. Other people don't have. So, food and science form the path to bliss, and CFTR is part of both. And therefore, you have a very special role. May the journey from platinum to centenary of CSIR-CFTRI lead to the bliss of Indian people. I did not say Indians, Indian people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for providing the facts on the major verticals of national economy towards GDP increase, and also how a premier food technological institute like ours can play a significant role in the gross value addition in India's food processing sector. We are truly inspired, and we work towards happiness, health, and wellness quotient of the nation, that is Viksit Sukh Bharat, through our food and technologies. Thank you so much, sir. As a token of our appreciation, we request you to kindly accept a felicitation, and I invite our director to kindly do the honors. Thank you, ma'am. Our next event is a gesture of gratitude recognizing the significant contributions of the Institute, scientists, and staff. May I now request Dr. Sri Rama, Head Planning, Monitoring, and Coordination, to kindly take the proceedings forward.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Purnima. Dear colleagues, you all agree with me that we had a very good, inspiring talk, and Professor Ramaswamy gave us more responsibility to make India happiness India. So today we are celebrating science. So we are in a very good festive mood, and we should also celebrate our achievements and our contributions to the organization. So for this, every year we were giving annual awards for staff and students for their best performance. This tradition was discontinued from last year due to change in policy. However, our director madam and management felt that we should appreciate and honor our employees for their contribution and motivate them. Therefore, we have initiated a new scheme to appreciate the performance by presenting a certificate of appreciation. Please note that this doesn't have any monetary value, but we assure you that this your performance, the certificate of the persons who have been recognized for their performance will be recorded in our annual performance report and all other activities. Therefore, we have initiated a new scheme to appreciate the performance by presenting a certificate of appreciation. So this year we called the applications for about 19 categories of recognition for the year 23-24. As our director madam said in the beginning, we acknowledge the contributions of each and every employee of this organization for their contribution to the growth and visibility they have presented for this institute. So we have received a large number of applications, and I must say that the performance of each and every application and also each and every employee is notable and appreciated. And each contribution deserves the certificate of appreciation. And however, a committee constituted by the for the purpose evaluate the application very meticulously, and they have gone through the applications very carefully based on the set guidelines and matrices for each category of award, and selected the best performers. So now I will read the names of the best employee or best team of the institute and the category for which they have been recognized. So I request the employee or their team or the student to come and collect the certificate of recognition from dignitaries on the dais. I request the chief guest and director madam to present the certificates. The first category, the best contribution to general administration. So this recognition is given to Sri Ramesha S., Assistant Section Officer, General Administration. Best contribution to finance, it goes to Sri Anil Kumar, Finance Accounts Officer. Sri Anil Kumar, please. Best contribution for stores and purchase, Sri Lakshminath Sakur, Section Officer, Stores and Purchase. The best research paper published by R&D staff in basic sciences, it goes to Geeta V, Chattur KN, Smita Ramkumar, Prakash M. Melame, and Dr. Suresh Kumar G. The title of the paper is In Vitro Fermentation of Glycosaminoglycans from Mackerel Fish Waste and its Role in Modulating the Antioxidant Status and Gut Microbiota of high-fat mice. This paper is published in Food and Function in 2023. So we have another paper in the best paper in another category, that is applied science. That is the best paper published by employees R&D staff in applied science. This goes to Bhavana BK, Sandeep N. Madaliyar, and Sukumar Debnar. The title of the paper is Life Cycle Assessment of Fermentative Xylitol Production from Wheat Bran, a comparative evaluation of sulfuric acid and chemical-free waste oxidation based pretreatment. The paper is published in Journal of Cleaner Production in 2023. So, best student recognition awards. This best student recognition for MSc Food Technology. Actually, this is a nomination. This nomination was given by the coordinator MSc Food Technology. The recognition goes to Miss Sandra Rose Wilson. I think she is not there. I request the head HRD to collect the recognition. The the best recognition for ISMT student. Again, this is a nomination given by the ISMT coordinator. This goes to Mr. Madhusudan V. So again, I request the Mr. Mohan Kumar to collect the recognition. The best recognition for research fellows. Again, this is a competitive recognition. We got large number of applications for this. And again, this recognition goes to Mr. Subhash V. Pavade, Senior Research Fellow, Department of Flour Milling, Baking and Confectionery Technology. He is not there. Dr. Prabhashankar is there. Or Dr. Matya can come and collect. Again, the most important category of our recognitions is the best technology transfer to industry. Again, this technology this year, it is a basket of technologies, and the name of the technology is Technologies for Development of Millet and Multi-Millet Semolina and Instant Mixes. And inventors are Dr. Suresh D. Sakare, Dr. Ashutosh Inamdar, Dr. Usha Dharmaraj, Sri Sudhir G. Walde, Sri Rajeshwar Bacche, Sri Basavaraj Mudalmani, Sri B.V. Satyendra Rao. So, the best department for contribution towards technologies, papers, external cash flow, patents, processes developed, and other outstanding R&D achievements. This recognition goes to Department of Microbiology, Fermentation, Technology. Dr. Alame and his team may please come and collect the recognition. Congrats. Congratulations. Congrats. Students, microbiology and fermentation technology students, please come. You can- maybe somebody can go that side also. That side also. So that is for the R&D department. So we have one more category of award for the best support department. This recognition goes to Department of Planning, Monitoring and Coordination for their support to the R&D department and administration of the for overall growth and visibility of the institute. So I request my colleagues to come and collect the award recognition. So next category of award is best technical support from group 2 category. In fact, this category, this recognition is shared by two employees, Sri B.A. Umesha, Department of Grain Science and Technology, and Sri Yemaraju R, Engineering and Mechanical Maintenance Section. Both Mr. Umesha and Mr. Yemaraju may please come and collect the recognition. Congratulations. Best technical support, Group C non-technical. This recognition goes to Mr. Subbaraya N, Department of Food Protected and Infestation Control. The individual scientific and technical contributions from a group 4 R&D departments, the recognition goes to Dr. Suresh D. Sakare, Department of Flour Milling, Baking, Confectionery and Technology. Again, the individual recognition for scientific and technical contributions, Group 3 from R&D departments, it goes to Dr. Ashwath Kumar K. Again, from Department of Flour Milling, Baking and Confectionery Technology. The individual scientific and technical contributions, Group 4, support departments, it goes to Sri Raghunandan, MV, Department of Planning, Monitoring and Coordination. The individual scientific and technical contributions, Group 3 from support departments. Again, this recognition is shared by two employees, Sri Vajravelu K, Department of Central Instrumentation Facility and Services, and Sri Narayanan K, Engineering Mechanical Maintenance Section. I think Mr. Vajravelu is not there, Narayanan is there. Congratulations. Individual scientist who got the maximum external cash flow as a PI and co-PI. And this award is for three consecutive years were considered for the ECF, that is 2021, 22-23 and 23-24. This recognition is goes to Dr. Vikas Singh Chauhan, Chief Scientist, Plant Cell Biotechnology. So I congratulate all best performers for their recognition they achieved, and their contributions are highly valued. I thank the Chief Guest and Director Madam for presenting the certificates. Dear colleagues, on behalf of the staff and students, I express my sincere thanks to Director Madam for initiating this new scheme of recognizing and providing complete support, guidance and encouragement. Madam, this certainly motivates and inspires the staff and students to do the best and to contribute more to the institute. My sincere thanks to the chairman and members of the committee for their help in evaluating. Really, they had a very tough time in evaluating the large number of applications. I really thank their support and their help in selecting the best performers. I thank my colleagues in the PMC department for their support and help in coordinating this new initiative. Thank you very much.
May I invite our director to share her thoughts?
I would like to congratulate all the people who came up on stage, my dear colleagues, for going the extra mile in your achievements. I'm sure the happiness that I saw on your faces, I felt I could also be on the other side and receiving it. Truly, truly deserving, and I hope that more and more people will achieve in the coming years. And CFTRI will be the happiness place, like our chief guest said, not only for the country but within the institute also. I also take this opportunity to acknowledge our wonderful choice. We are taking the credit, sir, for inviting you. You gave such a wonderful talk, and I'm sure we are working towards targeted nutrition. We are trying to address climate change in our own small way by developing green technologies. We are looking at our older systems of traditional foods to understand how we can increase the happiness, how we can relax, how we can become disease-free. All of this we are working towards in the future, and we hope to come out with answers so that India will become Viksit Sukha Bharat. Having said that, I would also like to share two things. One is that in the name of Atmanirbhar Bharat and the Nimitli scheme of CSIR, a Raman spectrophotometer was developed by by the CSIR, and 10 such instruments have been commercialized in the country, which is at a fraction of the cost if it were to be imported. So that is a great thing today to share. The second is that this institute in 1981, 28th February, inaugurated the International School of Milling Technology. If you go and see the stone that is there, it is written on it, and in the presence of our DG at that time, Dr. M.G.K. Menon, and the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Sri Guddu Rao, and the Swiss ambassador to the government of India. So this is a very successful model that has worked in terms of academic, government, and industry collaboration under the PPP model. And we have trained a large number of students. Their footprints are there on every continent on the globe. And a large number of foreign students have also been trained under this. And if the bakery industry is one of the most organized food sectors in the country, I think somewhere CFTRI hand is there, invisible or visible. So very happy birthday to ISMT also today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the next event, that is the inauguration of ACSIR Sci-Tech Club at CSIR-CFTRI, Ahar Anveshana. It's a platform created for students and researchers of the institute to converge, exchange ideas, and explore the wonders of science and technology in all its dimensions, its history, culture, future, and societal impact. We sincerely wish that the young minds here unite and explore the depths of scientific inquiry, curiosity, and passion for scientific aptitude. May I now request our chief guest to kindly inaugurate Ahar Anveshana digitally. The club activities will be facilitated by Dr. B.K. Bettadaya, Coordinator, ACSIR, with the student representatives as follows: Ms. Neha Pandey as President, Ms. Chatur K.N. as Vice President, Mr. Vicky Amre, Treasurer, and Ms. Devi Chinmayi as Joint Treasurer, Ms. Kala Nova as Secretary, and Ms. Deepika as a Joint Secretary. All the best to all the students. As we conclude this momentous twinned occasion, it's my privilege and honor to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on behalf of the Institute, CSIR-CFTRI. First and foremost, we express our deepest gratitude to our distinguished chief guest, Professor T. Ramaswamy, for gracing this event with his presence and sharing his invaluable insights. Sir, your inspiring words have truly enriched our Platinum Jubilee Lecture Series and National Science Day celebrations. Thank you, sir. A special thanks to our director, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh, for her leadership and continuous support. Sincere thanks to all the invitees who have joined us in person and online, as well as the former and present scientists, staff, and students whose presence and contributions have made this event a grand success. A warm thanks to the media personnel for covering this event and helping us to share the significance of today's celebration with a wider audience. A special thanks to Surabhi, Netra, and Bhagyalakshmi for their graceful invocation. A heartfelt appreciation to organizing team, the technical staff, heads and staff of all the support departments, admin, store, and finance, whose meticulous planning and hard work has ensured a smooth execution of this event. Thank you all for joining this twinned event. And finally, I would like to conclude this celebration with a quote by Sir C.V. Raman. I quote, "Science is a source of endless possibilities. It all depends on a willingness to explore and experiment," unquote. Jai Vignan. May I now request the gathering to kindly raise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे